Hello guys, this is my first video on my channel. I wanted to briefly go over my trade I took on my previous trading day, which was on Thursday. I did not trade Friday because the market closed earlier. On Thursday I caught a really nice trade. But before I go into the entry part, I want to kind of show you guys where I got my levels, right? So in general, a few things about me. I'm new to trading. I've been in this for around 3 months, so I still got a lot to learn. I trade order flow, and I've recently picked up on options flow, the very basics at least, like GEX levels, positive and negative gamma. So what I did, right? Let me just minimize that for a second. Following auction market theory and just ranges in general. So I like to mark ranges with my volume profile. So I marked this range we were at before the collapse in order to extract key areas, and which I'll go over in a little bit. And then I drew a range for the collapse that happened. I could have drawn a range here, but I'd never bothered because price was already way too far up. But I could have done one here as well. And then I did another range for the expansion we did after the news. And then it covers the gap as well that we had there. So basically what happened, right? Before the market even opened, I had these levels marked. I'm in replay right now, but this is what I was seeing before market opened. So first of all, as we can see here, I've marked two red zones and a green zone. So the red zones, there's a 5-minute selling balance here, and typically with each zone, I like to mark it's just high delta activity. Now I take these areas from the previous zone we were in, the previous range. So as you can see, in between these lines in which I have my zone, it's just high sell deltas. So there's 1, 2, 3 big sell deltas, right? If I'm not mistaken, let me zoom in here a little bit. If I move this, no, it's not here. Okay, or this one. No, yeah. So these two lines are just, as I've said here, sell delta outliers, both of these, right? These are on the current range you are in after the expansion. So yeah, if I move these lines, you can see the sell outliers, right? So typically if I'm looking for shorts or for longs, it doesn't matter. I want to see what happens at these levels, right? What happens with order flow, who's winning the fight, if you so to say, you know, buyers are in control or sellers are in control, and then I can position my move. I don't typically like to have a bias going into the day, so like only longs or only shorts, because as an order flow trader, I've figured to the conclusion that you're more of a reactive type of trader instead of, you know, trying to predict what's going to happen and having scenarios in which you've predicted before you see what happens, right? Before you see what price wants to do and the direction it wants to go to. So now that I've kind of cleared up these zones, I could briefly go over these ones as well. So this was a buy delta outlier, as I say, in the low of the range. I'm guessing if I move this line, yeah, there is a considerate outlier here. As you can see all these lines. This one's a lot bigger than the previous lines, and it's at the very end. So if price were to come here, I would want to see this defend if I would look to take longs. As you can see, that is what happened. I think this was pre-market though. I'm not too sure. This was maybe Asia session. But yeah, that's that level, and then I think this level up here. What was this level up here? So I do also mark the RTH POCs. So the previous day, and then some other interesting POCs, maybe above or below price. And okay, so this zone that I've marked, I just remembered, it's just this high volume node, this volume cluster over here, right? So it's kind of like a wall. So if price wants to escape this and go above and reach other prices, it needs to push through it a lot. So if I was in longs what I was thinking is if I was in longs, I see some nice opportunity to long or whatever. This would probably be my max TP because here is where price will chop and it's a lot of resistance in order to push through this level. Okay, so now that I've explained my levels, I can go deeper into what I was seeing, right? So I think could I just exit the 5-minute? 30-minute. Okay, I'll just keep this for now and I'll change it to a 5-minute. So I was monitoring this level before market open. So let me just enable the crosshair so we could see the time. So market opens for me at 16:30. And I could see that we were coming close to this level a little before the open. So I was really interested to see, what's going to happen here at this level. I could go on to the 1-minute. But honestly, I think we're not going to need this. I'm going to just put that to the side. So let me just explain what I have here. Here is a vol bar chart. Basically, it shows the pressure applied in the volume bars. For example, here in this sell bar, you can see that sellers are really aggressive. It also prints imbalances and areas of absorption or areas where there's pressure from either sellers or buyers. So that's the vol bar chart. I don't use it too much. I use it as extra confluences or extra to get an extra idea. I don't rely on it though. I rely mainly on the 40 range as well as my footprint chart. This is a 2000 volume footprint chart I tried for the first time on Thursday. Shout out to TTP. It's a Discord and they have a lot of free stuff there. But yeah, this is where I got it from, and this template is from Cormer as well. He is mentoring me and he gave me these templates, and I just figured some stuff out for myself, some things I like, but mainly the big job for the templates was thanks to Cormer and TTP community. So coming into this zone, let me just zoom in here a little bit so it can be a bit more visible. So these purple zones are just NQ efforts that I mark that are historical. For example, if I go back, I don't know how much back I have to go, but I just mark them that have been untapped. So for example, if this zone right here, if this thing happened over here, I would mark the zone so I could see it for future reference. I do the same for buys as well. Yeah, like I have a buy one here, and this one I marked before the open. So now let me get the replay and let's just see what happens. So here we went into the zone with 311 contracts, I think it is, which is a lot of contracts. I mean, I don't have a lot of experience yet, obviously, but considering this was still in London, right? US market hadn't opened yet in New York. 311 contracts on the NQ is a lot of volume. And I saw that, it got completely absorbed and prices just falling from there. So this is where I just monitor what's going on, and it looks really interesting. And it kind of gives me a hint as to what will follow, right? So it collapsed, price collapsed from here. So let's just see what happens. So they got completely absorbed, and you can see they still tried to push price higher, but they're failing, right? And now you can see with the footprint chart that sellers are starting to put their gas on the pedal. You can see it from delta as well. This is delta percentage, and this is total delta. So I think I enter either soon or maybe I'm already in this trade. So I'm guessing, I don't remember exactly where I entered, but I remember that my stop loss was above this, because my trade idea invalidates if we break through this. Because if we break through this, there's probably going to be a squeeze because there's a lot of buyers here that are going to want to defend and push price higher, and all of the sellers will be under, right? So there could be what Fabio calls a squeeze. So I don't want to be in the trade there. Also, I did de-risk here a fair amount. My typical size is 100 to 150 with like 2-3 contracts, 2-3 micros. So I trade MNQ, but I look at NQ charts. But here I entered with a risk of $50 with 1 micro. Since it was pre-market, like 2-3 minutes pre-market, so it was a bit risky, but I really liked what I saw, and it fit with my overall bias as to, you know, what should happen at this level, right? I want sellers to defend this level. So I saw that. I did not hesitate. I entered somewhere there. Had my stop loss above. And yes, let's just fast forward this a little bit. So let market open at least. So this is market opening. Okay, it's flying. I nearly did get stopped out, right? This could have been another entry point. If I hadn't entered here, I could have definitely entered there, right? And yeah, as you can see, sellers are just dominating right now, right? You got a lot of selling volume. It's getting awarded, and it doesn't stop. This is insane, you know. Minus, like, it's a 22% delta, you know, difference. It's a lot, right? So this is where I'm thinking, okay, this seems like a really nice trade. I didn't touch my stop loss for a decent amount. Okay, this is the vol bar notifications. It's giving me absorptions, etc. But I don't pay too much attention to that, as I've said. It also has the divergence detector. That tells me there's a volume and delta divergence, which is beneficial for sells. And yeah, the rest is history. I mean, let me see. Price did end up going down to this level. I think I trailed my stops, my take profits to around there. It was close to a 5-hour trade. I don't know exactly where. I have it on TikTok. I've posted my entry and my P&L for the day. But yeah, I just kept seeing the aggression from the sellers. So it was just a free trade from here. There's nothing much you can do. You can slowly trail your stop to break even at this point. And yeah, let me just fast forward this. Price just flies. Price just flies. And yeah, this is where I exited my trade manually. I did not reach my full TP. My full TP was at $600, which is the maximum I can gain because of the consistency rule on the 25K, because I trade a 25K Lucid account. So I took like 500, 510, something like that. And yeah, I'm really proud of this trade. It played out really nice, and it was a really low risk trade. So yeah, that's all for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, do let me know. I have made a Discord community with my very good trading friend. So if you want to pop in, say hello, more than welcome to. I will have a link in the description. I also will have my socials in the description, so my Instagram and my TikTok, which you guys can follow if you want to. And yeah, this is the start of a journey. I'm glad that you guys can follow along. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one. Bye bye.